Back with more Heroes of the Storm here at the WCA EU Qualifier. And guys, we saw a great game already between Alternate Fancy and Team Liquid on Sky Temple. Team Liquid, they took it, and now we're going into the second draft. We are on Blackheart's Bay for the first time. So let's find out what the two teams have up their sleeves this time. What's it going to be? We have, for the first pick, first ban, Fancy. And the first thing that they do is just like, all right, get rid of that Abathur. We are not going to deal with an Illidan Abathur again.
This happens every time against Team Liquid. You play against Team Liquid, and you're like, okay, well, let's ban Standard. Let's ban Zeratul. And they pick Illidan, Abathur, the Vikings. And then you're like, well, we have to ban one of those because that was ridiculous. And then you leave Illidan open, but... sorry, you leave Zeratul open, but Fancy are first pick this time. So they are in a comfortable position to, if they want to, pick up the Zeratul if Liquid leave it open. But Liquid, unlikely to, they'll probably ban it out.
They're probably going to ban it out, but they could even leave it open. They have so many really good heroes to pick from. They could just like say, all right, we might even get now the Zeratul ourselves. But yeah, you're right. I think Zeratul would make the most sense. He's usually the hero that you see banned second. But with how much time they actually let pass before they go for a ban, I could even see them go for a different strategy.
They may just leave Zeratul open here and just as a threat. Do you have the balls to pick Zeratul against us and give us Abathur and, give us Illidan and the Vikings, or either or?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it really looks like they are thinking about banning out something else. And the Zeratul ban is usually one of those instantaneous things, you know, like the first ban happens, and then the team is like, all right, it's Zeratul, of course. What else were we going to ban here? But
oh my god,
they ban out Uther.
The
and
bravery.
Now the fun begins. Uther ban means already that there is going to be a huge pressure on healer. If one of the teams decides to go into double heal, you could force the opponent's team with a quick ban on the second round then into a Lily. And just with that ban on Uther and the pressure that we have on healer, we're going to see a completely different draft.
Very true. And Liquid, they are second pick. They have the potential here to go for a double healer comp and just completely screw over Fancy if Fancy do not prepare. And, well, Illidan's open, so they could be prepared if they wanted to. But they would have to like pick Illidan and then let Liquid pick up Rhaegar, which is probably what Illidan would do if they're going for this. Because if you don't pick up a support against Liquid when they've already banned one out first round, you're in trouble. There's the Zeratul first pick. They won it. It was open. It's too good of an opportunity for them to pass up. And now Liquid, they're going to pick at least one support. I think two.
The cool thing is that we have now so many different things that he could do, and they go, of course, as already expected, immediately for the Illidan. And
all right,
not doing anything else. That's just like, okay, we have the Illidan, we want the Rhaegar. He's the best support for a melee assassin after Uther has been banned out. So we go straight for this.
Fancy need to pick a support, otherwise they've fallen into the Liquid trap. The third team to have done so if they do, but it's more than likely that they will know that they will be wise to Team Liquid's actions, and they'll pick up the Malfurion along with something else.
Yeah, right now what we're actually seeing here is a Malfurion being picked, and as we already mentioned, this is exactly what they needed to do to not fall into a trap regarding the healers. So that, of course, results in, I just wanted to mention it, Jaina being picked later than usual. Oftentimes she's even the first pick. She's in the games even a ban at times. And now it comes to exactly that, the bans. And what do you ban out here? Sylvanas has been banned out earlier as Team Liquid was playing Illidan because they wanted to shut down that potential silence that we could see from their opponents. That is an option here as well. Or you could put pressure on their tanks, but they decide to go into the same ban like MO that they used in the previous games.
Okay, so this does mean that Liquid, if they want to, as a warrior, could be picking up the Muradin. Or they could just be going with comfort like they have been so far with Tyrael or something along those lines. Fancy, they do have their ban right now, and I would say Tyrael would be a fantastic ban for them.
Tyrael is definitely a very, very solid ban here. We've already seen how difficult it can be to really deal with an Illidan and Tyrael jumping in together. So that's definitely one of the options that they have. A few other heroes that you, of course, always consider in a scenario like this is, for example, what kind of damage could we see out of our opponent? Are they going to go for a Zagara again? Are they going to go for a Kel'Thas again? Those are the two heroes that are very difficult to deal with as well. There's still other frontliners that are very strong here. But a ban on Tyrael would probably be very solid. We've seen them, on the other hand, also struggle a bit with those Maws in the last game. So Zagara is also very solid on Blackheart's Bay. That could be another potential ban that they go for.
Yep, Falcon very solid with his Zagara. Very comfortable on it as well. It's his new Sergeant Hammer.
Basically, that's true, yeah. And keep in mind, Team Liquid has the next 2 picks after this ban. So what they still need is a frontliner, and they also need a bit more damage. They could still go for something like the Vikings.
Yep, very true. And it's a pretty big map. Not a terrible map for the Vikings as well. You can split them up, let them grab some coins, let them soak XP. Seeing as this is a map where just on the odd occasion, top lane gets a bit neglected.
Yeah, and we oftentimes even see Vikings being played in the way that you put 4 heroes at the bot lane if you have a strong push setup, have the Vikings soak mid and top, and then you have a very, very strong push down at the bot lane, and which can give your opponent a huge amount of trouble. And there it is. Zagara is being banned out. I like it. I really think that's a good choice, since they make sure that something like what I just described can't happen. They were struggling with her a bit, and Zagara is just strong on this map. So ban her out, and now Team Liquid, the good thing for them is they can still pick the tank that they want to take, and in this case there's a very high chance that we are going to see them rush into Ethereal. And yeah, I like it for them. So now they can pick the damage dealer plus the tank.
Yep.
Or Vikings again.
Or Vikings, yeah, who could just end up being their damage dealer if that's the route they want to go down, very similar to how they went last time. Only that time they did have an Abathur, so leaving that extra room for another damage dealer makes a lot of sense. But I'm pretty sure at least one of the picks right now is going to be Tyrael, because Fancy are yet to pick their warrior. There's a Nubarak and Tyrael.
I feel like they could go for it, but I don't really think they will, because there's an Azebo. They still have the opportunity to go into Vikings, and I really think if you want to go Vikings, leave them for last, just because I don't think that it's going to get picked away.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember Alternate Fantasy having a player that really favors the Vikings and is really good on the heroes, so unless they really changed someone and made someone train on them, I do think that the risk of them picking Vikings away is rather slim. So instead, what we can expect here is maybe again a Muradin. There's also Johanna that you can still use.
Very true. And Fancy, just thinking through this option a lot. Muradin is once again open, so they can get that wonderful reverberation in.
Yeah, the Johanna is on the other hand solid as well. You have your shield glare that you can use against Illidan, which is actually like really nice. Well, so that's another option that they could use here.
They have damage dealer and healer, so
Muradin
why not both? They have the option for that.
What is better than Muradin or Johanna? Muradin and Johanna.
With a Jaina to follow up with the combo.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, you can even go in this case, I think you could even see them go into a Kel'Thas now as well. Then you have both of them. That is an insane amount of damage. It's just a matter of how you can keep them alive. Malfurion is already solid against someone like Nazebo. They have to keep tabs on Illidan, though. And how are you going to do that? Muradin is a great start into this. Johanna is, of course, an option that they have here if they feel confident with the damage that they have on the board, and the Zeratul and also a Jaina should actually give you that. So we could see them head into a second tank. That's definitely true.
Yep, second tank, or I agree, probably Kael'thas is a very good idea. And there's the Valor.
I could even have seen a Tyrande, you know, like again that sniper squad, and especially against an Illidan, if you lock him down once and you have the extra damage on him, then you can just like burst Illidan down really quickly. Of course, there's always the ancestral healing that you have to kind of deal with, but if you do it properly and you really execute the damage at the right time, then it's very tricky for Illidan to stay alive long enough for the ancestral healing to really kick in. But they decide to go into a Vala here for the damage, and that's not really a bad choice. That is just like basically a matter of preference what they do here. I personally find it very interesting, though, that throughout the entire day we have not seen Alternate Fantasy go once for that trademark composition with Muradin and Tyrande. Not once. And that is the combo that really that they played for weeks and months, and with which they were extremely successful.
Yeah, it's weird that we don't see them. And there's the Vikings, like you said, leaving it till last so that no one expects it as much. And it means they're in a situation where, for example, if Alternate Fantasy had known the Vikings were coming, or at least were 100% sure, then maybe the Kael'thas might have been the choice they made, because once again, it's still a better chance of getting stacks than you would see from, say, if they'd Liquid had gone for another warrior or any other kind of assassin.
Yeah, it's definitely true. And like you can, I feel like if they had the chance to go into a Zagara, if Zagara wasn't banned out, they would have done what I've already said earlier, at least in the beginning of the game, trying to put 4 heroes at the bot lane, push that in, let the Vikings soak mid and top. And if you do that, you just burst down the wall. You don't even go further than that. You burst down the wall real quickly, as fast as you can, and then you just go for a completely different laning and you let the Vikings do their thing. In this case right now, though, they have still a very solid setup that they can use here. The map, of course, is going to start in just a bit, since we are about to start our second map. In case that you just tuned in, we have a best of 3 series ahead of us, and we already saw the first map where Team Liquid was able to take down Alternate Fancy, meaning the only thing that they need here to qualify for BlizzCon is one more map win. If they take another map, they win this series with a 2-0, so they have 2 more match points now, so to say. If Alternate Fancy comes back, then they will force a 3rd map here. And Alternate Fancy is very, very good on Blackheart's Bay. This is a loser's choice system, and every single time that I've seen Alternate Fancy lose, they went for Blackheart's Bay.
Yeah, it is fair enough. It's also a map that we're seeing a lot more recently, as opposed to it was just banned away pretty much every time for the longest time. But it's sort of crept its way in, and it's a strange thing for a map to come back like that for really no good reason other than some teams have practiced it more than others. And that's the thing of when you have a draft system in a game for maps, or a veto system in a game for maps, because you can practice a map that other people don't play and would not usually ban, like those middle area maps, and just ban away an expected map and can get some real good use out of that.
The thing is, like, especially when you were talking about like having a map strategy for a map that isn't really played a whole lot, a very good example for that is the Battlefield of Eternity, which we see these days being picked by a few teams. Team Bob, for example, that you might have seen in the last few days, is basically a couple of escape
Bob with a question mark.
They just put the question mark in because they apparently they couldn't really register the team with only 3 letters. I kind of learned that I screwed up, and I was always really harping on the name. I was like, what kind of name is that? Who would name themselves Bob? And then I had one of the guys in an interview, and at the end I told him, and I was asking him, dude, who came up with this horrible name? And he's just like, well, you did. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm just like, what do you mean you did? It was like, well, at some point you were really annoyed about the weird teams names that people go for, trying to screw the casters a little bit and making them hard to pronounce. And you said why can't they name themselves Bob or something?
Yeah, you did. You said anytime there's a player or a caster whose name you cannot read,
so
they are Bob.
Exactly. So they basically just called themselves Bob, and it's my fault, and I kind of dug my own grave there. As is, though, we don't have Bob. No, we this time have actually Alternate Fancy out to the left side of the map going up against Team Liquid once more. Devis on Vala this time. We have a Blumby currently on Muradin. It is Crosby on the side of playing Jaina. We have Krolo with Malfurion. Darkmorg is on Zeratul. And to the right side of the map, we are having Team Liquid. The Spaniards here with the Lost Vikings, played by Vortex. We have Falcon on Azebo. Gran Paquete is currently playing Rega. Lucifron is playing Inuburak. And Black Scorp is once again on Illidan. And currently the setup, as you can see here, up at the top lane, we're having Zeratul. In terms of builds so far, we have on level 1 a Colossal Totem for Rega. Oftentimes you will see the mana reduction on the chain heal, since Rega then can also go into Shadow Wolf on level 4 and doesn't have to go into Feral Heart, which is most likely the talent that we're going to see from Rega here. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one. And of course, good old buddy Zeratul with his immediate move into Seasoned Marksman, which we are going to see just extend into an auto attack build.
Yep, the auto attack build, they're pretty much the standard for Zeratul, considering he was he went through 2 different ability-based builds for the longest time, with the double bomb build being the most popular, and then moving into the cleave build, just one of my personal favorites, because it one looked the coolest, and 2 did a lot of damage with that ticking over time. But now the auto attack build, there's no gathering power in the build anymore, and he still does huge damage. Olaf looking pretty weak. There's the root. Oh, they're not chasing him though.
Alrighty, Olaf gets away. We have, in terms of points, 5 points for both of the teams, so it was an even split at the chests here. The important thing to note really is that Zeratul is basically these days every single time. Oh, Lucifron actually up at the top might be in trouble here. Gets the shield in again. A good double stun.
Oh, the blizzard.
But this time he dies, goes down, and Nuburak is dead. And this is the first kill, the first blood for Alternate Fancy. Very well played here actually by the guys, jumping into that and taking him down here. And Lucifron didn't really see this one coming. A good rotation from Alternate Fancy, and they get rewarded for it.
Yep, looking pretty good for them. In the meantime, we are seeing just soaking coming in from Team Liquid. They have control of the bot lane. They have someone in every lane. Where the mid lane, the Malfurion keeps leaving to try and go help, or at least keeps trying to leave.
Yeah, Darkmorg actually is doing quite well here, going for those camps. And that's, of course, one of the things that both of the melee assassins will be able to do throughout the game. Going for the camps here and trying to take those down. We're having now level 4. It's Feral Heart as expected. And the auto attack build is now just being progressed with level 4 focused attack for Zeratul. So in this case right now, Zeratul will try to dish out most of the damage with this, and we have by now Seasoned Marksman on the hero just being the standard talent. The only reason why you would not go for it is that the map just absolutely works against it, like for example in Battlefield on Eternity.
Yeah. So what is your opinion on the rampage growth coming out from the Malfurion? That extra 20% initial heal, as opposed to the extra range you can get from Elun's Grace.
I personally don't take it when I play Malfurion, and I've seen huge discussions where people are just like going into the math and saying that it's one of the worst talents in the entire game. But it's still popular with quite a couple of players. Now, there's of course always the question of, does it really add anything to your build? Does it help you to mitigate some of the burst damage that comes out of certain heroes or compositions to maybe keep a hero alive? I favor Elun's Grace, but still, there's quite a couple of players out there that still feel like rampant growth gives them enough to make the talent viable.
Yeah, like it does affect the life seed as well. Vortex is going to get out of there. Took quite a bit of damage, but he is still fine.
Yeah, we have Darkmonk on the other hand, putting some pressure on Grand Parkette. And so far, Alternate Fancy is doing well. Chests again, and that will be another point of contention. We're having Illidan still turning in coins, so the bot chest is probably going to end up in the hands of their opponent. But over here, we see another chest taken. So both of the chests may be in the hands of Alternate Fancy. But Team Liquid turns in first, and therefore they now have the mid lane bombarded and taken out.
It also means they do hit level 7 a little bit before Alternate Fancy do, but not enough to really pick any kind of engagement.
Level 7 did not give us a Mule on either one of the teams. Mule, a very strong talent on this map now in particular. The problem is that on the side of Team Liquid, what they had to give up to take Mule, or would have to given up, is the Gitbin on Nazebo. And that's a lot of the damage that you have there with the increased duration on the Spider. So it's really a strong talent to have. And we see in this case also that the fort has not been taken out. And the reason is actually quite simple. If you have still the entire wall available, then the first turn is not going to drop the fort. If, like in this case, we are seeing half of the damage already on one of the towers, the first turn-in on the side of Alternate Fancy is going to kill the fort as well, which is really important, especially when there is a Mule on one of the teams.
Well, we're probably about to see Eric die here. Dodges the root, manages to get Nazebo stunned here. Vortex trying to play the Duke game here. Grand Paketa is trapped on the wrong side here, but in comes Luthafron and Falcon from the back as well. Olaf died somewhere on the map, but Krolu getting focused down, gets the root, but Illidan takes him down.
Illidan takes him down indeed, and has now 10 coins, so they were able to steal a few away from their opponent, especially since they also took down Vala. And Vala had a fair amount of coins there, so it's now 10 against 13. They turn in again. Here comes another barrage now, though, and this will drop not only the fort in the mid lane, but also then has to take down the wall up at the top if they get the turn, and that's exactly what they just did.
Yeah, all of the coins on the side of Alternate Fancy are on that Zeratul, the person who wants to be, if he can, in the back line. Less than ideal for them here.
Yeah, Zeratul is always like, with Zeratul you really just want to like chase targets, and you oftentimes live from moving in from either behind or the side. You jump in and you do out some damage. And having this many coins is really uncomfortable when you're a Zeratul player.
It's very limiting.
Yeah, it's not only very limiting, it's just like one of those things where you're saying like, guys, can we turn in, please? I want to get rid of those. I want to get rid of them now. And he has 12 coins by now, so yeah, he really wants to get the turn going.
In the meantime, though, Illidan has been off on the map himself, just gathering coins everywhere. And the rest of Liquid have been pushing bot lane, while the Vikings, like you said earlier, are just soaking XP. There's the interruption from Blackscorp coming in just in time. And Darkamok isn't able to turn around. In comes the Void Prism. But where do you run from it? Eric actually chasing down. Eric, chase him. The cloak's going to re-happen. Krolu's here. There's the heal.
Wow, that was a really good blink that we saw there.
Eric's still going. Here comes Baylog as well, trying to spin to win. They do reveal him. In comes the Metamorphosis. They're trying to take it down. So greedy.
They want the dirty esports money, but they're not getting it. They were trying to jump in, but a very good escape on the side of Zeratul. That being said, if you look at the situation in the game now, we have, with the destruction of the fort at the bot line thanks to Team Liquid without using a turn-in, them now in a nearly 2-level lead. Well, make that 1.5. But Darkmonk has still not turned in. Team Liquid has 8 coins on their own.
There's a spin to win to reveal him. Luthafron and Blackscorp Both here, and there's the body block trying to set up for the burrow charge, but Blink is available. No, there's the stun. Blink is not available. He goes down and drops his coins. In comes Crosby and Krolu, though. Root goes down to the Nubrak. Web Blast immediately onto Jada, though, and now Krolu's in trouble. He's trying to get out. Zombie Wall stops him escaping. He goes down. Jada comes out. There's the Blizzard, but she goes down as well, and that's a disaster.
Oh my god, they just lost 14 coins, 21 coins. Black Scorp, he's rich. He is rich. He can buy himself a master skin for his hero now if he wants to. 13 coins already handed in. We have the Vikings everywhere on the map, still soaking speed. They have a solid 2-level lead with an extra talent now already. We're even seeing Feral Lunge taken on the side of Rega. He's like, heal? What's that? Why would I go into the healing surge? Feral Lunge, more fun, kappa kappa. Go straight into this one, and now the chests are up at nearly the worst time ever. Wow, they could open up a bank account in Switzerland. This is insane.
Yep, Strafe has been taken for Valor, and to be fair, she kind of has to. The only stun potential is from the Anubrak. If she can dodge that, then that Strafe can break through the evasion of Illidan and actually do damage to him. Illidan, though, countering that, already took the 6th sense.
I mean, right now, this is just such a bad position. The good thing for alternate fans is that so far Team Liquid didn't turn these in, but even after they turned in just a few seconds ago, they have 20 additional coins. So they had 34 coins at some point. And now they're trying to move in again. As long as the coins are on the hero store, on the other hand, it's a different story.
No.
Uh-oh. Yep, they jump in. Darkbook in trouble. Krolu just abandoned them. Did you see that? He just abandoned them. Like, no team spirit whatsoever.
It was 5 versus 2.
He would have died, granted, but still. Who do you like more? The guy that dies with you and for you, or the guy that simply says, like, yeah, I might be a healer, but screw you. I'm not going to help you out here.
Well, we are on the Black Heart space, so I'm pretty sure the pirate code does take effect here. He who falls behind gets left behind.
Okay, you got a point there. I apologize. I did not take the map into consideration, so Krolu, you're still good. If Muradin actually tries to blame you for this one, I'm going to help you out here because, yeah, that's definitely he who falls behind. So that's definitely a good point there. But there's another, you know, like jokes aside, great turn in again. 10 coins still for them. They get another camp. That's 12 coins. And we are already seeing the first keep in the mid lane gone. The one at the top lane is soon going to be attacked by the turn-ins. Team Liquid is nearly 3 level ahead right now. They get level 16 while we just see level 13 finally for Alternate Fancy. They are dominating their opponents.
Yeah, and we even see just the full healing stuff coming out from Malfurion. And he doesn't need the cleanse due to, like we said, the only stun being a Nubarak. But, oh, two free Vikings. That's nice, at least.
Oh, Vortex feed confirmed.
Yeah, like the Vikings, to be fair, are the only ones who are actually dying this game at the moment. I like the zombie wall to deny the turn-in for a bit coming out of Liquid.
That was pretty cool.
Just to buy some time, and the leaping spiders denying that even more. Or Liquid, wait for an engagement. And remember, Vortex, even are dead, he can still longboat raid. There's the engagement onto Krolu.
Yeah, no, there comes immediately the Void Prism. They're getting everybody in position. Here comes the Metamorphosis into the backline at the same time. The first kill already gives Malfurion no tranquility any longer. They're trying to heal Jaina. Jaina with the Ice Book, saving herself for another couple of seconds, but already going down as Darkbook is dying now as well. Blumby, the only one surviving together with Dennis, but both of them about to die. Blumby gets away. No, he doesn't. The quick impale at the end takes him down now. It's a team wipe. This is going to be game once again. Team Liquid, who the hell can stop these guys?
At the moment, not Alternate Fancy as they push into the core. The other two Vikings are actually on their way across the map right now, but it doesn't matter. GG. And Liquid are going to be heading to Gamescom.
Team Liquid already getting their ticket for Gamescom. They take the winner's match with the 2-0 against Alternate Fancy, making it easy on game number 2, or making it look easy at least. These guys are just so good. It is crazy. Alternate Fancy with actually like a very good start into the game, and they played a solid series here, but you could really tell that there's a massive difference in skill. Team Liquid, they are so far ahead in Europe right now. It is absolutely insane. And they will go to BlizzCon as expected. Yeah, well, to BlizzCon probably as well, but we are talking about Gamescom here. We're already a little bit ahead of time. It would be, let's just put it like that. It would be not only a surprise, but it would be like an absolute disaster if Team Liquid for some miracle reason does not qualify for Gamescom 2.
It would be like the upset of the Heroes scene ever.
So Gamescom, they got their ticket here. They will go to Gamescom, and we of course have one more game for you. Another best of 3 series. And this best of 3 series is going to determine who will actually be able to join Team Liquid at Gamescom. We have tomorrow also more games incoming, so make sure that you tune in tomorrow as well. But guys, before we go into the next game, we have a bit of a longer break. It's probably going to be like roughly 10 minutes because apparently food that got delivered and hungry casters, I heard, have to eat. I'm not quite sure why that is. I think that's still a rumor.
Yeah, Caldor's just actually a robot, so he doesn't require sustenance.
You said you would be
he
alright
just
as
needs
well.
to go into the cupboard to recharge for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, the problem is the production was just like whining in the corner the entire time a little bit. You might have heard those sounds.
They were eating in front of us, tormenting us with their happy nativity.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even catch that. But yeah, so production just informed us we're going to have a longer break. I call, for me, longer is 10 minutes. So guys, after 10 minutes, we're hopefully going to be back. And then we're going to have Gamers 2 going up against Alternate Fantasy. The rematch. We saw them in the best of 1. And Gamers 2 looked very strong until the last fight happens.
Yep.
And well, we're going to be back in just a bit. So guys, stay tuned. We'll be back with the last game of the day where we'll find out who is going to be the second team that will go to Gamescom from Group A.
Like I heard for you.